What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today I want to talk about an instant classic and a game that means so much to me. And really, to be honest with you, I've been wanting to make a video about this for a long time, but I just didn't know how to approach it because when you're talking about a game of this magnitude and this much of a pull towards my own individuality, I guess you could say, like it's just this is more than just a video game to me. It is an experience, and as corny as that sounds, between the first and the second game, um, this game just it hits home for me, and that is Red Dead Redemption One. I know there's a lot of controversy with this game right now, especially with Rockstar. Well, it's not Rockstar, but Rockstar, gave this game to another smaller developer to bring a port to the PS4 console and then Nintendo Switch. And a lot of people are not very happy about the news. I was one of those people where I wasn't too happy about it, but at the same time, I've been playing it on Xbox Series X through backwards compatibility. So I've been playing Red Dead One for roughly around 2-3 weeks now, and it's really I've been really just continuing my old save. I've been playing the game, then I'll stop playing the game because something else came out, things like that. So as I'm recording this video, I complete the game. I didn't 100% it, but I completed the game. I killed spoiler. I killed Edgar Ross, so I got the ending of the game. And I really just wanted to just sit down and really talk about Red Dead because it's just one of those special games, special games, and I think it was so ahead of its time for when it came out, which was like in 2010, which is crazy because I was a young man back then. I played it, but I think I'm still too young to really appreciate the story and a lot of other things that it brought to the table. So now that I'm older, I have, I can relate more to John Marston. I can relate more to that overall story. Not in every way, obviously. I'm not an outlaw. I'm not killing people, but well, as you know. But now that I'm older, I can appreciate the game. So really, I want to make this video just to talk about it. Please, leave comments. Let's talk. Let's talk about Red Dead. I love this series, and I just feel like with recent events, Rockstar is kind of throwing Red Dead to the side. I don't. It's not. I don't think it's the fact that they just don't care, but I think it's the fact of the matter is it's just not a series that they really want to dwell on, man. I think it makes them the least amount of money. They want money, and at the end of the day, that's why these developers make games is to make money. I hate it because the passion is just isn't there. I mean, look what everything with GTA 5 and everything. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's talk about Red Dead 1, and I'm not really gonna have like too much editing here. I'll probably have some gameplay up. My gameplay, I had several gameplay videos and I was using the Xbox software to record these videos, and they just came out looking really, really trashy. I don't know if you guys have seen my unboxing video for the Hyperkin Xbox 360 clone controller for the new consoles. Um, but I had like one snippet of gameplay that I did that was towards the end of the game and where I showed some combat using the Hyperkin controller, and it looks so bad. I put it in the video just to show some gameplay of me using the controller, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man, it looks bad, and so all my gameplay looks horrible. So I'm probably gonna be taken from other people's content on YouTube, and I will definitely put the source at the bottom of the image here. That way, you guys can go check out their full gameplay. So anyway, let's talk about it, man. So Red Dead Redemption. Um, what can I say, man? This game is just from start to finish, man. It's just so good, man. It's such a moving story from the get go. You play as John Marston, and you're fitted with this task to take down your old brothers in arms to regain your family who was kidnapped from you and taken from you in hopes that you would carry out the deed that the bureau wants you to do. And man, it's just such a very like intimate, it's such an intriguing concept, and it's honestly something that's so relatable. Like, how far are you willing to go to save your family? And going as far as killing your old brothers that you love like family. And I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit, but I love that setup. I think it's so relatable. It makes so much sense why John is doing the things he's doing. And when you get to certain parts of the game, when you finally track down Javier Escuela and you have him cornered, and you can choose to kill him or you can tie him up. I felt like it was more appropriate to kill them. In each playthrough I've done, I've beaten the game a couple times here, and I've always killed them. And one thing that always gets me, man, is like you pull the trigger, you kill Javier, you toss him up on your shoulder, and you go throw him in this like little like jail cell, right? You put his body in there before uh, Edgar Ross and his buddy come to get the body, and John puts him in the cell, and when he after he puts him in there, he looks back at Javier, and like the visuals at the time are not great, but you see like John kind of wipe away a tear, as he's looking at Javier's lifeless corpse, and man, it gets me every time, dude, because now that you played Red Dead 2 and you see that connection that these characters had, man, it hurts like hell, dude. It does. And man, it's just like it's really hard for a game to make me like feel this type of way, right? Like when I think about games like this, I think about The Last of Us, obviously. Um, I think about, I mean, there's several games, right? I mean, I think about the original like God of War, right? When you find the tragedy of Kratos' family and what he did, not knowing what he did, but seeing that angst and despair. It really makes you think. Like me and Jan, we just did another episode of the podcast, episode 30, where we talk about breaking the stigma, breaking the stereotype in gaming for 2023, and we talk about how some of the best moments of our lives is playing video games and going through these stories that really tug on the heartstrings. And man, that's just one of those moments, man. Seeing John Marston wipe away a tear after seeing his brother on the ground dead, it's just man, it still gets me to this day. It's just such good stuff, and especially after playing RDR2, and you see how close these people were. It really means a lot, man. But yeah, just moments like that, dude. Definitely the back half of the game for me is the most intriguing. I think as far as the most really most interesting when you're trying to hunt down Dutch Vanderlyn and you kind of have an idea where he's at, but Dutch seems to outsmart you every time you make a move up until the very end, right? But
Hello again, John.
Hello, Dutch.
We gotta stop meeting like this.
Sure.
I got a plan, John.
You always got a plan, Dutch.
This is a good one.
I don't doubt it.
We can't always fight nature, John. We can't fight change. Can't fight gravity. We can't fight nothing. My whole life, all I ever did was fight.
Then give up, Dutch.
But I can't give up, neither. I can't fight my own nature. That's a paradox, John. You see?
Then I have to shoot you.
When I'm gone, they'll just find another monster. They have to. Because they have to justify their wages.
That's their business.
Our time has passed, John.
And it's crazy because again, when you play RDR2, you see how close everybody was, and you see all the characters cooperating with each other. And then when you get to RDR1, you see like Javier Escuela, Bill Williamson, Dutch Vanderlyn. They are a shell of what they were in RDR2. It's crazy because Javier has a personality. I would say a great person, but he has a personality. Bill, his personality is kind of more or less the same, but at least they cared. Bill, I think, cared about Arthur, right, and cared about John. And just to see them backslide to this point where they're just shells of their former self. They're just run of the mill piece of shit leaders of like their own little small armies, and it sucks, man. It sucks. I just think that Rockstar did a beautiful job of really showing you how far from grace they all fell. And not really fall from grace, probably not a great word, because these were not good people. That's the thing. Like, I love these characters, but these are not good people. Let me just put that out there. But man, it just seeing them, man, it just the story is what's lingering on me. The encounters, man. You know, this game does such a good job of making each encounter you come across in the game in the open world, right? No story quests, they just happen. This game does such a good job for it being so old of making these events seem so random, and you come across people in different situations, and it's I mean some really dark stuff. Like there's one quest. I believe it's called Flowers for the Lady. I think it's what it's called. I think it's a side quest like that where you have to pick these flowers for this older guy, and you pick the flowers. You go back to his homestead, and you know he's gonna give these flowers to his wife. You go in, and this dude's wife's lifeless corpse is like sitting in a chair, and he's talking to her, and John's like, yeah, see you, partner. It just leaves, and it's like moments like that, man, that stick with you, dude. Because how the corpse look kind of remind me of if you guys ever seen Bates Motel, and when you get to the finale episode, I know I'm spoiling the fuck out of it. Excuse me, but at the very end, you see Norma's body, like because Norman he can't do without his mother, but he keeps her corpse, and you see that corpse just sitting there with no life, and it's so creepy. It's like you still think about it. It's one of those moments for me, like that's a side quest, and if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have seen that. Like, and I think that's what Rockstar does such a great job of, and we already know this in RDR2, right? RDR2 has the same thing. Now I know that's a newer game, and it came off the back of this one, but I think RDR2 just submits that, like you go out in the world, you see some things that are nuts, and you would have missed them if you would just kept riding by them. The stranger missions, right? The I know you side quest. And
Hello, John. John Marston.
Do I know you?
I hope so. I seem to know you.
I'm pretty good at remembering faces.
Are you? Do you remember Hattie McCourt's face?
Who?
She was a girl Dutch Vanderlyn shot in the head on that raid on the ferry a few years back. Same one you got shot on. Pretty girl, until her eye was hanging out by a thread of tendon and her brain was plastered over a wall.
Not really.
Then why would you remember me, friend? You've forgotten far more important people than me.
What's your game, friend?
I don't have a game, John. Listen, sometimes I just wish I'd known more about life. Wish I'd had better guidance. A friend of mine is drunk as a skunk in the saloon on Thieves' Landing. I think he's gonna be unfaithful to his dear wife. Why don't you head over there and see if you can advise him how best to proceed?
What do you think I am?
I know what you are, John. Just if you've got the time, friend.
RDR1 is still some of the most chilling missions in any game to this date that's like creepy and instills like, and I'm playing the game, and this might sound corny, but I'm playing the game, and I'm over here like looking over my shoulder like, is this bastard behind me? Because the strange man, right? We don't know his name. He gives off this very confident, foreboding presence. Even if he doesn't come off as like evil per se, he comes off as death. And there's all kinds of different like Easter eggs and rumors about him that you can look up online. So I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. But it's just very, very interesting stuff, man. So like the story and the world feels so alive. The music when you're riding on your horseback is just so majestic. I mean, it's honestly it's crazy how goddamn majestic it is. The visuals in this game, again, I'm playing the Xbox 360 version that's scaled up to 4K. It's still 30 FPS. But man, I was telling Jan on the podcast that this is the smoothest 30 FPS has ever felt. And graphically, this game looks amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I hope that the PS4 port looks this good. I doubt it, but I hope it looks this good because this is a real treat to see Red Dead Redemption 1 and all its glory. And I mean, dude, some of the horizons, like you look out and you see the sun setting, and I mean, dude, it's amazing. It looks so damn good. Yes, the character models have aged a little bit, but I mean, to be honest with you, dude, everything else looks fucking fantastic, and it's still well than serviceable for sure. let's get to the gameplay. Rockstar Games, I don't think they do well in the gameplay department. I think the best gameplay they've ever done is Max Payne 3. I just felt like the shooting was just phenomenal in that, the movement. This game has, it has very like stiff movement, but man, when the shooting works, man, I'm not big on the lock on aiming, but man, in this game you feel like you kind of have to do that. But it's like it's so satisfying to get a perfect headshot in this game, man. You feel like a freaking badass, and that's why, like, my wife has watched me play a good bit of this playthrough, and I'm just like, dude, the what I like more than the story itself is just feeling like a freaking badass. I walk into Blackwater, I feel like all eyes are on me. I just feel like nobody can touch me, as John Marston, man, and it's really, really nice. Has a real nice hefty feeling for a game that's older too. It has very, very hefty controls. Even when I was playing with my Hyperkin Xbox 360 controller. By the way, check out that video of my unboxing for it. The combat just feels like heavy to me, and I like heavy combat. I like the way like a gun feels when I'm shooting in a game. I can't stand floaty combat. That's why I can't get into like Apex or like Fortnite or anything like that. The combat just feels too floaty to me. But man, in this game, it just feels impactful. And even more so, like I said, we talk about this game, we'll have to talk about Red Dead 2 at some point. The combat is just fantastic. As far as the shooting goes, still like the controls, John kind of controls a little wonky. But all in all, though, it still makes you feel like a badass. And I think that's what keeps this game going. That and the atmosphere. The atmosphere is so dang good. Your actions, right? Your actions are there's consequences to everything you do. People know you for how good your honor is. If you're helping out other people, people in the world will come up to you and know you by name, hear about your good works, ask for more help from you. There was a mission I did with a nun, right? A nun who's a reoccurring character in these games. She needed money. I gave her $10, and now every time a nun saw me, they were asking me for money. And it's kind of crazy that these actions that you do affects you throughout the game. And I'm looking at all this stuff, and again, I don't want this to be like a 30-minute long video because I could easily talk about Red Dead for 45 minutes. This game is just almost perfect, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, the gameplay can be jarring at times. I've gotten stuck on a couple fence posts and things like that, and this is stuff that's been going on since I was a child and I played this game. But yeah, man, I think just this game, man, it's one of those things like even though this is a game I've beaten before, I still think about it. And now that I just beat it, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm gonna play Undead Nightmare, and I know it's more of a goofy spoof of the original game, but I just love these characters. I love this world. I love this music. I love the combat when it works. I love this combat. Just everything is damn near perfect about the game. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it. I'm sure you guys think the same. What a hell of a foundation for a series. I know there was Red Dead Revolver. I know that. I never actually played that. So I just don't really know as far as the story goes. I've heard things, but I don't really know much as far as the gameplay and the story and all that. But Red Dead 1 is an absolute masterpiece. And really, RDR 2 is also a masterpiece as well. But Red Dead Redemption 1 is just the basis of how you make a perfect video game with the protagonist, with the world around them. The characters help make the main character even better. With John Marston, you can kind of make him one-dimensional. And with these other characters, you make him more than just some tough guy walking into a saloon and beating the hell out of everybody. And yeah, I think when you do that, it really makes the world feel alive. Speaking of things making the world feel alive, with the poker games, blackjack, dominoes, horseshoe games, things like that. I mean, this game has it all, and it's so well above its time. And I could talk about it for days. I'm hoping that me and Jan, I'm hoping we'll be able to do an episode of the podcast talking about Red Dead 1 in a bit more further detail. He's never played it before, so this ought to be a very, very cool thing for him. It's going to be different than us, right? We've probably played the game a couple times, but for him, he's never played it before, so it's going to be really fun to talk about it on the podcast, hopefully, if that's something that he wants to do. But anyway, I think that's all I really got to say about it right now. Let me know what you guys think about Red Dead Redemption 1. Do you love it? Do you think it's overrated? Just any feedback I'll take. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I just think this game is almost perfect. I just don't see anything bad with it. I think the missions are fun. man, it's such a beautiful game. And the ending, man, when you play as Jack and you track down Edgar Ross.
Excuse me. You Edgar Ross?
Do I know you?
Forgive me for startling you, sir. I have a message for you. My name is Jack Marston. You knew my father.
I see. I remember your father.
I've come for you, Ross.
And you, boy, have sure as shit found me.
You killed my father.
Your father killed himself with the life he lived.
You killed him. I saw you.
You keep saying that.
You sent him to do your dirty work. Then you shot him like a dog.
And I'll shoot you like one too, you little piece of trash. Now get out of here before I kill you as well.
I ain't going nowhere, old man.
It's perfect because it questions a lot of things, right? Like John didn't want this gunslinger life for Jack, but Jack ends up getting payback on his dad's killer. And it's a beautiful scene. After you kill Edgar Ross, Jack looks at his gun. And I think that's supposed to be, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think it's a cool way to look at, like, would my dad have wanted me to do this? And I think it's just such a great ending to a story. And yeah, I fucking love this game. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Red Dead Redemption 1. And are you going to play the PS4 version of the game? Yeah, that's fucking stupid. But are you going to play it? Have you already pre-ordered it? I'm probably going to get it because I want to see how it plays on PS5. And I also just want to see Jan's take as well. So, I think it's going to be a lot of Red Dead 1 gameplay in my future, even though I'm finished with the main game on Xbox. So I'm just curious to hear what you guys think about it. And with that being said, we'll see you in the next one. Stay dead, my friends.